Hey, it's me, Narrative, and this is a review on the Metal Robot Spirits Gundam Barbatos Lupus Rex Limited Color Edition. The box is very classy, with a simple action shot of the figure plastered on the front. The text is in this nice embedded gold font, making the presentation feel very premium. On the back are more action shots and this image that showcases the internal die-cast components present within the figure. Opening the box, you're presented with the text, chills, literal chills. Without much ado, let's check the figure out. The appearance of the figure is excellent. Now the shade of white on this figure is a bit more pearlescent than the original figure based on what I can see on these images. The largest difference between the two is the shade of gold used between them. The original version seemed to have a more orangey shade of gold, while this version has a lighter shade of gold. Personally, I kind of prefer the original version's deeper shade of gold. In terms of details, there is a ton of painted details on the relatively exposed inner frame. Now a majority of the entire frame is die-cast, giving the figure a bit of heft to it. As great as this is, there is one section on the elbow joint that seems to be bubbling. I have no clue how it got that way. As for the proportions, you can definitely feel that the designers took more artistic liberties with this figure. It isn't a one-to-one translation of the anime design, as the figure is much sharper, a bit less blocky, and the head I find is a bit smaller than the anime's take on it. However, I do like these choices. It may not be the perfect representation of the anime design, but it certainly captures how the beast feels when it's in action. With all that out of the way, I am going to tear into this thing now. Why? Because this thing cost me almost $200. That's right, this tiny little thing cost almost as much as a low-end metal build figure. And the thing is, I got this for cheap, since it was a used copy. Let me repeat that, I got this for cheap. But Narrative, I hear you say, it's a die-cast exclusive figure. It should be that expensive. No, it shouldn't. I'm telling you right now, this figure is not worth the price. The only thing that can justify the price is the die-cast components and this thing's appearance. Even with all that, it's not perfect. Far from it. This thing has nub marks all over the place, and this is Bandai's second attempt at this figure. Oh Narrative, stop nitpicking, you can overlook those, they're tiny like your dick. Okay, first off, ow. Second, I didn't want to do this, but you leave me no choice. Gunpla builders, avert your eyes.
What is that? What the fuck is that?
Yeah, fuck off, Bandai and dumbass resellers. I could sand parts better blindfolded and with 100 grit sandpaper. Are you out of your mind? No, this is not worth $200. You want to see what's worth that much money? This is the DLX Bumblebee from the Transformers Rise of the Beasts. Yeah, look at the scale, the quality, and this thing even has a warranty. And here's the thing, I got this thing for a lower price than this exclusive figure. Then why didn't you just buy the original, cheaper version? Well, Strawman, that's a great point. You want to know how much the cheapest original version costs nowadays? Yep, it's the exact same price as the DLX Bumblebee. And I've heard that the original has even worse joint tolerances than the exclusive figure. And we'll get into that problem later. The figure's articulation is pretty solid to say the least. The head can go around, though the collar can limit movement. Up and down range is great due to the ball hinge joint in the upper neck and the ball joint in the lower neck. The pistons in the neck are non-functional though. The arms are on ball joints that can let them go around without much issue. The arms can bend deep for their size. The shoulder armor is on a ball hinge joint and can drop down. The arms can go out that far. Its reach is improved by the joint in the torso portion. The butterfly joint can make the arms cross. The bicep can rotate and its hands can go around, bend up and down on a hinge. Waist armor can go up slightly and the side boosters can go around and up and down as well. The torso can hunch forward and back while the pistons function like the real thing, a solid implementation. The legs are on a drop-down joint, although the right leg on mine is stupidly stiff. I don't like how that feels for a premium figure. Legs can go forward that far and have a solid bend at the knee. This portion of the leg can fold up slightly for more range, very nice. The legs can go out that far and is hindered by the side skirts. And the foot has a solid range of movement. Now on to accessories. The figure comes with only 2 sets of hands. I get it, it's a machine, it's not like it needs any more hands, but come on, at least include 1 more pair of hands, like a sharpened nail or just something, okay? The figure comes with a wire attachment for its tail. The tail can move up and down along the backpack and can be removed. Place the wire on and feel free to pose it however you wish. Do note that the wire and attachment aren't strong enough to remain stable on their own. This is much worse for the longer wire version. The package comes with a clear stand that can support the tail using these attachments. Speaking of which, this is the base included with the figure. It is accented with red text depicting the name of the mobile suit and the Tekkadan logo. The base can be adjusted using these notches. The attachment point is on a hinge that can be locked into place. The stand comes with clear support arms, 1 long, 1 short. Be aware that the included waist attachment for the figure when attaching it to the base is stupidly difficult to remove if you intend to take it off the base. The figure comes with a pair of pile bunkers that can be placed on the heels for your step-on-me-mommy moments. This here is the figure's signature weapon, the anti-ship mace. The tip can be removed and changed with an extended pile bunker attachment. The mace can also be placed on the back skirt with this attachment piece. The end of the mace can be removed so that you can place it onto the figure's hands. This thing looks cool but is absolutely worthless in the figure's hands. Why? Well, the joints are strong as you've seen previously, but it does have an Achilles heel. For all the metal that it presents, the ball joints absolutely suck. It can't hold up the weapon at all. Sure, the hinge joints are strong enough, but it's annoying having to adjust this every time since they're so stiff. Another issue is that the wrists are so weak too. The mace will undoubtedly flop around if you don't support it. Bandai did decide to include support arms, though this requires parts forming. Are you kidding me? The HG integrated this feature within the arms themselves. How is this figure being outwitted by a $10 store model kit? There might be a reason for this. It's because attaching these supports make the arm heavy as fuck, making the weight issues worse. Nice job, Bandai! This is the second attempt at this figure and you still fucked it up. This fix is a double-edged sword. Sure, the wrist can now hold up the mace, but the shoulder ball joint can't handle the weight. Also, another reason as to how the figure is holding up this pose is because I had to stiffen up the ball joint in the waist so that it can handle the weight. But a figure of this price shouldn't need to be fixed to this degree. Now the last accessory is an alternative horn piece with red sparking effects to simulate the full activation of the Gundam Barbatos Lupus Rex. This is a great accessory, though if you look too closely at the figure, you can see the green eyes seeping out of the red. Again, $200. These effects are posable and are on ball joints at 3 different points. Here are some size comparisons. Overall, this figure was a massive disappointment. I bought this figure because I thought that it would have been an improvement on the original release. Since I read online that the joints were fixed for this one, if they were, then wow, the original version must have brought expectations down. This figure does not feel nice to pose at all. Joint tolerances are all over the place. A premium figure shouldn't feel like this. Also, a ton of work is needed for it to handle the one and only weapon that it possesses. The design just feels like it's fighting against its own materials. Some part of me kind of wishes that the more parts were made out of plastic rather than metal in order to fix the weight and joint issues, but no! We have to artificially inflate the prices! This figure just feels like a high quality RG kit and not a premium priced figure. At this point, the only thing it has going for it are looks. Even then, the nub marks really hinder it a lot. Couldn't Bandai spare more effort into its construction? Just hire some model kit builders, damn it! As much as I may be a Barbatos simp, I cannot recommend this figure at all at the prices that it's being sold for. Heck, if you find this figure at retail price, if that's even possible outside of Japan, I still say that it's a hard sell. If you want a Barbatos Lupus Rex, there are options. If you can paint, go for the HG. If you can't, there is the Gundam Universe version, or if you want a cheaper version of this, just go for the original. Just be aware that you might need to fix up some of the joints. These options may not look the nicest, but at least you get a figure that's worth the price point. That's all from me. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to see me waste more money. See you later.